Do you ever stress organize because the world's falling apart and you just want to feel some semblance of control over your choices and circumstances? Because same. At least my Notion's cute. A couple months ago I started using Notion and it has been the greatest thing that has happened to me since sliced bread. And that is saying a lot. If you don't know, Notion is an all-in-one workspace for your notes, tasks, and wikis, according to their website, because I tried to describe it and I could only describe it as a lifesaver. I've tried using other note-taking and to-do list apps. Ultimately, they led me to not want to digital journal and instead just use my bullet journal, but since using Notion, I've ignored my bullet journal for the most part, except for like some small entries. Most of my life is now just organized by using Notion. So you're getting a Notion tour because I've spent way too much time on this app, organizing it to the point where I actually feel proud of my Notion spaces. So time to flaunt my work. But because I'm a kind human, you can get my entire workspace for free. Feel free to check them out if you do like my Notion. And let's go. This is not the exact Notion workspace that I'm using, but it's a duplicate of my current workspace. So it basically is my workspace, minus all my personal information. Fair warning, this Notion tour is not a guide on how to use Notion, but when I first started getting into Notion, it was really helpful to use templates like the one that I'm providing and just figure it out as I use it versus like an extensive guide. I'm just showing you how I use Notion and the formulas that I've created to make my life much easier. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritties of things. Here we go. This is the homepage of the template that I'm providing, but it's basically exactly my Notion. First, we enter here through my homepage. It's kind of a lot. This is a song. Thought it would be nice to have some music here. This is a quote that is currently inspiring me. I'm really bad at this. Let's go down to these categories. I have this seasonal category, which are my long-term goals. I have a template for a 14-week plan. Through it, you can put in your goals, your progress goals, and your actions and your tasks. I talk about this in my bullet journal setup. So an example for goal 1 would be to focus on learning. Progress goals could be, actions and tasks could be like study French daily, so on and so forth for all of these goals. And then at the bottom, it's I, Alexandra, commit to completing these goals by this date, and it's usually for this, it's 14 weeks from today, and if I complete it, I'll reward myself with blah, just so you have the motivation to actually complete your goals. And then over here is the monthly, so today's October. I put quote of the month, your main goals for the month, and then your weekly goals for the month. Pretty standard, self-explanatory. I also made templates for these, so you click on monthly, then it'll give you a template of the month. If you click on the 14-week plan, it also gives you a template of the plan that I just showed you. Huzzah! Next, we have documentation, or just things I want to record and document. So documentation actually also refers to the index. This is one of my favorite features of Notion, where you can hyperlink things. I'll go into the index later, but that is the first thing of documentation. And we have the reading directory, which is one of the first pages that I started working on. So it's my bookshelf and all the books that I read since I started recording my reading on Notion. I set it so they're organized by status, which is either read, reading, or DNF, and then the date I finished it. And then I also just put in a lot of information that is really helpful. So you have the title, the author, status, rating, date started, date finished, format, genre, tags, pages, cover if you own it, and necessary links. So it is a lot of information, but I think it's really fun, and I like how for Notion specifically you can sort and filter. So if I want to see at the end of the year how many books I've read via audiobook, then I can do that, and the same for anything else. And because I put in the book cover covers, you can also see the book covers. Or these are the books that I'm currently reading just to make it easier. But normally I just set it to the default. And on the bottom, my TBR/wish list. So I keep my to read or TBR separate from the rest of my bookshelf because this is more so for the books that I already read or am currently reading, and the TBR is more for books that I want to read or potentially want to read. And I usually set this to gallery, or actually this is a good example because right now I started reading Bone Witch. I can actually move this over because all the other settings are the same except for author apparently. Pretty sure that's how you spell Echo. And I started it yesterday, actually. All the other information is here. So, yeah. Pretty. I'll also put if I own it because this is on my wish list. Okay, next, my money diaries. Right now it's empty, but I don't want to share how much I'm spending. But normally what I would do is I would put like today I purchased Jade City. And it cost like, I don't know, $20. And it was a book. And it is personals. Then it has a sum of all the money that you spent this month, and then this is for all the money that you made this month, and it sorts for all the things that happened in the last month, and obviously you can filter and sort beyond that if you want to. I think this is going to be very helpful when I have to do my taxes, because when I was doing my taxes this year, I was like, wow, I really should have kept track of what I was buying. Next is my watch queue, or things that I want to watch. So kind of boring. This is a little outdated, but I put the current episode and I also put the total amount of episodes. I don't remember how many episodes there are in this show that I'm watching. I think 30. And then I made formula for how many episodes I have left. There, this is gonna be the finished template. Okay, so I'm currently watching this show. I'm on episode 5. There's 30 episodes left, which means I have 25 episodes left. And yeah, same for films. Pretty simple, and honestly it's really similar to the reading directory. So if you wanted to add a special cover or whatever and then add a gallery, that is also pretty easy in the view. Next, these are my backlogs. So all of these lead to other pages that are in my Notion somewhere similar to this index. It just makes it easier. Then I have my daily, or things that I would refer to daily or would like to refer to daily. So my habit tracker are these things that I want to work on. This is nice because I already set a filter for it is only events that happened in the past week, and then also the amount of checked. So sometimes there's some things that I don't necessarily want to do every single day. So for example, working out, I don't want to work out every single day, and I try to work out around like 2 to 3 times a week. And so I just need to see if I did work out like 3 times a week. You can change it to any habit that you want. Next is my morning routine, which is just a page to remind me of what to do in the mornings. Yeah, I don't actually look at this page very often, but it is helpful just so I know like this is what I'm aiming to do. The same is said for the night routine, and actually some of this is out of order just so I can turn off technology earlier in the night. Okay, next is the meal planner, which I'm pretty happy for and excited for. Over here on top is notes. These are my current goals, so I just want to drink more water. And then ideas for meals. I don't really refer to the top, it's just for reference. Then this is the weekly meal plan examples. This is pretty cool because it tells you all the meals that you're eating and then all the ingredients in those meals, and then if you need to buy ingredients for the recipes. Each of these are actually recipes that are listed down here. For example, matcha latte, there's like nothing in the recipe because it's really just milk and matcha. But for something that is more sophisticated like this, then I have like notes and instructions, ingredients, and whatever. And so I'm actually leaving some of my recipes here. So let's say you're making a matcha latte on Tuesday and you're putting in all the things that you are planning on making. So I'm having a matcha latte here. Then because you don't have matcha and you need matcha in your matcha latte, it's put into your shopping list. So this is very convenient to organize all of your meals, your recipes, and your shopping list. It's a little complicating, and I do not take credit for making this myself. I think this was a template that I used or tutorial that I used, but I'm gonna try to link and reference everything in the description. Kind of confusing, but it's really, really helpful. This is actually placed in the index, which I'll go over later. Then I have my language journal. I can't believe that we are only in the homepage still because there's so many freaking pages. But this is something that I try to do daily. I try to write a sentence in English, then translate it into languages that I'm working on, as well as the date that I did it. For example, this says I'm learning language, and in Chinese it says 我在学中文, which means I'm learning Chinese, and then same for Korean and French. Over here is my plan, and the night before I'll plan out each day. So it says 7:30 morning routine, and then let's say 9 o'clock class, 12 o'clock I have lunch, so on and so forth. If I want to make it cute and fancy or whatever, just make it as code and then highlight it with the yellow background. And this is my playlist, or the songs that I'm currently listening to. Now, over here is the main portion of my Notion and where I do most of my work. This is my 3 main goals for the week. So for example, it could be something like, my goals for this week are to eat vegan, have a clear intention, stick to my morning and night routine. And then this week's focus is to find balance. So these are just things that I want to focus on for the week. Down here is the to-do list, and I don't take credit for creating these formulas or templates because it's really complicating, and I found it on Reddit, which I will link. This is a to-do list. Let's say this is an example. Reply to email or something. I'm gonna say if it is priority, yes, I need to reply to email. The date I need to reply to the email. You can also put the time and these tags, and then over down here, just try not to touch it. For example, if I put it's due on this date, then it'll be due in 2 days, and it'll automatically do that. So just I don't touch that bottom part. But if it's not on a specific date and you just want to do it ASAP, then it just tells you. Then over here are recurring tasks. So I put like water my plants. Try not to mess with these formulas because it's pretty complicated. But this is the day it starts. You can say it's every day or I put 8 days, or you can also say I want it every Monday or every Tuesday or on the 10th day of the month, or anything you want. Let's say it is every 8 days I need to water my plants, and it just so happens to be today. Now we're down to the days of the week. This is a formula which allows you to make new tasks. This is a bar to indicate my 3 main tasks. So let's say today is film a video, take a photo, and finish homework. Those are my 3 main things. If I want to have a new task, I'll usually put it underneath. As long as I finish my 3 main tasks, I will feel good about the day, and then if not, then it just appears underneath, and it's like clean your room. It'll be down here, and if I don't clean my room, but at least I took a photo and I finished my homework, then I'll feel good. Yeah, that's how I organize my week. And then also it is nice because, like, let's say today is Monday and I have something on Wednesday, and it's like an appointment with blah, and it is on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Then you can do that, and you can set a reminder like the day before. Now down here is classroom, or relation to all the assignments that are due, and I'll go over it when I go through the academics. And down here is my office, or where I have a relation to my content. I'll go over that later. And that is mainly my homepage. Huzzah! Okay, back to here. Let's go to the dream life, which is my second favorite page, honestly. It is for me trying to fulfill my dream life or live my best life. I split it up into 4 subgroups. So my dream body, mind, soul, and earth. Made a list of things that you want in your dream life, a list of things that make you happy for when you're feeling low, and then some extra things that you want just because it's like, I want these things. And this is just a quote. Over here is the body. How do you want to feel in your best body? I am confident, happy, healthy in my body. And what are you doing today for the body of your dreams? So you have a current goal, timeline, and I want to improve my physical strength, eat healthier, and find balance between work and leisure. And then these are things that can help make it happen. And then you can usually just put like 3 or multiple more things. This is a playlist for when I want to work out, and these are just updates each week. And whenever you add a new week, you could just click new week and it'll have this template minus what I wrote down here. Then I have mind. This is how I want to grow mentally. Over here are just links to the morning routine and night routine in academia, which I'll refer to later. This is language. So right now I'm trying to focus on learning language. I'm learning Chinese, French, and Korean. If you are studying language and you want a page where you have everything, use this. And if you're not learning language, then that's totally fine. I put my resources up here and also put like what lesson I'm on. I'm not on. How I can integrate it into my daily life as well as my goals. On the side over here is replenish, or how I can heal my mind, I guess you could say. And it also relates to the body, but then yeah, everything's connected. Then the soul, or your life's purpose. This is like more related to your work and how your work is related to your life's intention, and this can lead to a lot of existentialism, but this was a product of my existentialism. So I'm asking myself what is worthwhile, and then I have a sentence in my actual dream life, but this is just a template, and who it's for, what does it do, and what does it say for all the work that I do and like everything that I'm doing in my everyday life. And then I try to reconnect it and put it all together so I know that I'm doing things with intention versus just doing things for the sake of doing them. Last but not least, I have Earth, which is how I want to contribute to the world. So I want to contribute via social justice and environmentalism. These are some resources and some ways I am trying to be a better activist for the things that I care about in relation to my environment. That is my dream life, and it is included in the backlink of home. Okay, let's go to index, which is excessive, and it's also Ghibli themed, which is fun. I have a backlog of all the notebooks and all the things that it does over here in a small description, but let's just go through them. Reference are just like small things that I would want to refer to. So for example, these are 2 movies that I want to watch. Actually, I moved these over to my watch queue, but right now they're here. And then this is like a Discord bot that I want to refer to in the future, and this is a podcast creator that I want to refer to in the future. This is just like for future reference, random stuff. Then we have our notebook, which is just like a list of like random things, and so far I only have things to like make my Notion cute, and they're just like icons, Notion references, and I think that's like a widget creator for Notion. Don't have much there. This is my wish list, or things that I want but I want to like pause before I check out because I have a very big impulse shopping problem. So this is the product, the price, what it is, where I can buy it, and why I want to buy it, and this is additional tag. So I really want these earrings, but they're sold out. And I'm thinking about getting this necklace, but I have not gotten it yet, so it's still here. Over here is fitness. This is just a list of all my workouts. I've deleted them just because I feel weirdly protective of the workouts that I do, but normally this could be a page where you can fill all your workouts. Then recipes, I already referred to them earlier. Yeah, you've seen this before. Meal planner, you've also seen this before. Words are words that I just really like. Grammar, definition, and then also the definition or how to say it in the languages that I'm working on. So I have it in Chinese, French, and Korean, although it's so funny how the French translation is exactly the same as the English translation for these 2 words. Down here are quotes. These are the quotes that I just really liked. Who said it, the source, and the format, and any miscellaneous files. Lastly, on this index page is a tarot database, which I take 0 credit for because I did not contribute to it at all. But it's a database for all the tarot cards, and then you can look to see the descriptions. I put it here because I found that it was probably helpful for when I do occasionally try to use my tarot cards, and I still don't know how to read tarot cards. Now we have academia and creative content. I think it'll be more helpful to do academia first because I think a lot of people are still in school. So let's go through academia. So this is a master list of all things academia. Over here I would have useful information like my school ID number, my school email, my school password to the email, and just like things that I need to refer to quickly. On the left is a guide for all my academic related stuff. So this is an academic plan, and then this would be their school homepage, and you could just link it like this and just add a link. Or I would also have, like right now, Canvas, which is where my school is doing a lot of their assignments as well as like other relevant websites. Timeline and playlist. Now, the main chunk is the courses. So this is very helpful. These are all their own pages, and you can just put which semester it is, how many credits, what class it is, if it's honors, what professor it is, and schedule Zoom. And then this is like the main description, assignments, which is also a hyperlink, syllabus, hours, and lecture notes. All of the pages look like this, or they're like mostly similar. You can also move things around, so if you don't want it to be on the side or columns or whatever you want. You can also change this view so it is a board view, so you can see like this semester, next semester. In my actual academic courses, I put out all the courses for the next 2 years that I'm planning on taking because I am very adamant about being organized. So yeah, but right now I just have the current semester and next semester. But yeah, if you want to have your new class, you can just use these templates like I mentioned before. Down here are assignments, pretty self-explanatory, but I'll give an example. So this is what I normally do. Let's say week 1 homework, what course it is, if I completed it, the due date. For the due date, let's say it's due tomorrow, and then I can also have them remind me on the day it's due, tags, like what kind of homework it is, points, and links. Down here are resources, like anything you want to add, any relevant links. Tables are the best thing about Notion and like why I really like it. Okay, into the academic plan. Academic plan basically has the courses, but I have this page separately because I had it for all of my semesters and for the next 2 years, or like my general plan. So yeah, I would mostly view the academic plan like this. And then these are actually, I get to see transfer requirements for California community colleges transferring to UCs or like any other colleges. So I put these requirements here. Yeah, maybe I'll get rid of this. But that is just what I had, and then notes. So the academic plan is basically the courses, but my personally has a lot more, and that is academia. Lastly, creative content. This is how I organize everything about my Twirling Pages identity. So this is the directory of all of my links. This is what I want, my goals for creating my content, and then over here I actually had an image of myself as well as like a small description, but I feel like it's not relevant for y'all. I don't know if this is relevant for y'all, but I think you should create your own form of identity so you know why you are creating the content you are creating. Now over here, my content calendar is actually very filled, but I don't want to spoil y'all on what I'm planning on creating. So here it is. Right now it is just how I stay organized and Notion, and actually I'm filming it. So this is all the statuses: filming, editing, writing, scheduling, pending, completed, and archive. Usually I would just like jot down ideas for what I want to do. This is really outdated because clearly it's October. So through here I have the status, the format, publish date, due date, category, sponsor, like if it is sponsored, and this is a relation to the sponsor page, and the final URL. I'm very proud of how I organize my content. I feel very proud of how I organize my content, specifically my YouTube one, because the YouTube one has like the most information or like things that you could potentially need. In terms of blogging or Instagram, I usually just blog blog directly on WordPress, which is what I use to create my blog. And then for Instagram, there's like not much you need to do. You just like write a caption and photo. But for YouTube, there's like a lot more information that you need. This was actually inspired by another YouTuber who created a Notion tour video on how he organizes his YouTube, and so I would highly recommend checking it out. But I basically just duplicated what he did. I'm linking it. This is title ideas, keywords for the video, sponsor information, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't really use these keywords very often, but it's nice to have there. Then content area, which is what I would work on first because that is like where I'm brainstorming, put in all the information here. If I have a script, if there's a voiceover, then I would just put it all over here. Editing checklist is a checklist of all the things I need to do when I am editing. Create Dropbox folder, import to computer, blah 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 blah. Publishing checklist is like upload and publishing. I need to create a thumbnail, upload onto YouTube, add tags, add cards, schedule, blah blah blah. And then this is actually for when I'm planning on filming stuff. If I need to refilm stuff and add in B-rolls, this is like where I put that in. And yeah, this is like the YouTube section. God, this is so extensive. This is also really nice because if I do have a published date, like let's say it's going up, it's supposed to go up on Saturday, I'm hoping. Then I have this, all the different views in which I can view my content. So this is the content calendar for everything. How I stay organized, and this is a YouTube video and also a blog post. And if I have Instagram photos or whatever, then it's all in here. Then I have specific ones for each category. So these are YouTube categories. This is a lifestyle, but also a book and study related video, and whatever. I have a lot of categories for how I categorize my videos. Same thing for blog categories. Instagram categories, I don't use them very much or at all. A specific dedicated YouTube calendar just so I know what I'm creating on YouTube. Specific dedicated blog calendar, and same thing for Instagram calendar, and that is basically it. Yeah, I don't have a blog template. A blog template is just an empty page, but I do have an Instagram template that looks like this, and this I mostly only use if it is a sponsored photo because this is too much work. But it's the thought that counts, and plus it is cute. Alright, last but not least is the sponsorship stuff. This is a sponsorship directory. It is pretty helpful for me if I'm doing a sponsored related content. So this name would actually be the company. This video is not sponsored. So let's say it's sponsored by Twirling Pages, which obviously I cannot sponsor myself. Then all these things, what kind of sponsorship, what format it is, when you want to publish it, compensation, so how much you're getting paid, and then this is relation to the content. So I was talking about this earlier. If the video is sponsored, like let's say this Notion video is sponsored, and then I would be able to do that. And then if I actually go on there, I could easily refer to the sponsored content or like the sponsor information all over here. So yeah, and then inside I would just like copy and paste information that I need in relation to the sponsor. I've been talking for an hour, but yeah, that is my entire Notion tour. It is a lot. I've spent so much time on my Notion. If you do like this Notion, it is all available for you. Oh my god, it's literally been an hour. I hope you found that helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. I never say that, but I'm like, please support me for all the work that I'm doing. Okay. Whew. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!